The vision shown in this video has been recorded in a controlled setting for the purpose of product installation demonstration purposes only. Fielders Grandeur is a classic, versatile solution for both stylish and elegant designs. With clean lines for a striking finish and a unique curving capacity that's not easily achieved with all cladding profiles, Grandeur allows for exceptional results. This video will only consider a common non-cyclonic roofing installation application, as the fixing methodologies for this profile are much the same for both roofing and walling. As part of the Fielders Finesse range, this profile is supported by a comprehensive online design and installation manual available at specifying.fielders.com.au. You will benefit from referring to this video and the detailed manual together. Fielders Grandeur is available in cover widths from 180mm to 525mm, with two standard sizes of 325mm and 525mm for maximum economy and efficiency. Additionally, Grandeur is available in a 0.55mm base metal thickness or 0.75mm base metal thickness for special projects. Grandeur's concealed fixed cladding system utilises two types of clips. The fixed clips are usually positioned at building edges, and the sliding clips are used in non-perimeter areas. Clips are affixed to metal battens using smooth-top flathead metal screws. For fixing to plywood or timber battens, countersunk head metal screws are used. The manual details recommended fixing patterns for both fixed and sliding clips. Generally, fixed clips are used at 350mm centres for 5 rows from the ridge, with the remainder of the roof using sliding clips at centres as recommended in the manual. For metal batten applications, fixed clips are used throughout at similar centres to plywood applications. The maximum recommended length for Fielders Grandeur is 24 metres. However, for batten fixed applications, the maximum length is not recommended to exceed 12 metres, as the fixed clips will restrict thermal expansion and contraction, leading to potential oil canning. Fielders Grandeur can be readily installed on either battens or a structural ply membrane. For roofing applications, a structural ply membrane is required for Grandeur covering widths greater than 325mm to provide adequate support for foot traffic during installation and maintenance. Follow the manufacturer's installation recommendations. It's good practice to install a heavy-duty roof sarking for both roofing and wall applications across all the Fielders Finesse range profiles as an additional weatherproofing measure. Make all the laps in the sarking with a 150mm lap. Tape with sizelation tape on at least the outside face. Best practice would be to seal the lap with double-sided tape first. Ensure there are no ripples or puckers. Seal at the top. Follow the manufacturer's installation recommendations. For maximum weather tightness, lay sheets towards prevailing weather. Before lifting sheets onto the roof, check that they're the correct way up. Also, that the overlapping side is towards the edge of the roof from which the installation will start. You'll find this much easier and safer than trying to turn sheets on the roof. Place bundles of sheets over or near firm supports, not at mid-span of roof members. Order roof sheeting cut to the length of your roofing run, plus an allowance for overhang. For example, into a standard gutter, this may be 50mm extra. Design the pan width of the sheets to allow an even span across the roofing area, ensuring equal barge flashing widths. As this profile is a variable width product, profile-specific turn-up, turn-down tools are not available from Fielders. Select the most appropriate size tool appropriate to your pan width from the various size tools commercially available. To create the turn up, at the top of the sheet, fit the tool over the end of the tray as far as it'll go. Then, push the handle to form a turn up as close to 90 degrees as possible. Based on the width of your tool, you may need to gradually work the turn angle along the edge of the pan until the angle is achieved. Take care not to tear the corner edges of the turn up. You can turn up sheets anytime. If you do it after they're fixed, make sure there's sufficient clearance to operate the tool effectively. At the gutter end of the sheet, turn down the sheet pan to approximately 20 degrees using the same procedure. Turning down is often done after the sheeting is fixed on the roof, provided there's no obstruction to the operation of the turn down tool. Position the first sheet to align parallel with the building edge, with the overlap rib closest to the building edge. To ensure that barge flashings are equal on each side of the roofing run, attention should be given to aligning the first sheet, considering the roof run and sheeting cover. Fit fixed clips to the underlap edge of the sheet, measuring and marking 350mm centres from the ridge for 5 rows. Making sure that they're square and with no sharp edges protruding, screw fix the clips. Ensure the screws are fully tightened. Then fix sliding clips at 700mm until 1750mm from the gutter. Then fix the final 5 rows of sliding clips at 350mm centres. Place the first sheet over the clips and position longitudinally. Ensure the overhang at the gutter end is as required. 50mm is a common practice. Double check placement and measurements to ensure the last sheet will lay where you planned. Using a Stabier angle seam closer, work your way down the entire edge of the first sheet so that the clips hold the sheet firmly in place. In one pass using a Wuko hand seamer or Piccolo mechanical seamer, finish the seam along the full length of the sheet. Remove any protective film away from the edges of the panel. Along the trailing edge of the first sheet, install fixed clips at the top of the sheet at 350 centres for 5 rows. And then fit sliding clips at 700mm until 1750mm from the gutter. Then fix 5 rows of sliding clips at 350mm centres. Align the following sheets using the long edge of the previous sheet and a measurement from the end of the sheet to the fascia or purlin at the gutter. It's important to keep the gutter end of all sheets in a straight line. Using a Stabier angle seam closer or similar, commence the single seam closure over the first fixed clips, covering enough area to set up your seamer. Using a Woku hand seamer or Piccolo mechanical seamer, seam the full length of the sheet in one pass. Repeat this process for the roof run. On the final sheet, use fixed and sliding clips at 350 centres along the length of the panel as per the first sheet. To complete the roof installation, now fit the barge and ridge flashings. The Australian standards for designs of flashings are referenced in both HB 39 2015 and the online Finesse design and installation manual. Our manual covers the common roof flashing detail, including hip and valleys. Fielders produce all of these and any custom flashings to suit your individual requirements. The barge flashing needs to cover from the building external wall to over the sheeting first rib to provide a weather-tight solution. In situations where the edge of the Grandeur cladding aligns with the edge of the building, the barge flashing may be matched to the width of the Grandeur rib and used to fix the sheet end. The arrangement of the barge cap design and fitting is predominantly personal choice, but here is a suggested best practice method for a common installation scenario. Be sure to order your barge cappings over length. Start fitting the preparations at the gutter end first by measuring, marking and cutting the fold over to the height of the rib, 27mm. Push the prepared gutter end into place, aligning with the laid sheet ends. While sitting in place, measure and mark cuts and notching at the ridge end of the sheet. Cut to fit. Remove all protective film from the end sheet. Place prepared barge capping in place, ready to fix. Remove swarf as you go to prevent scratches to the finished surface of the sheeting. Fix to the Grandeur sheeting with colour-matched 4.8mm sealed aluminium rivets. Moving protective film out of the way of the fixing as you go, rivet fix the capping to the Grandeur sheet ridges at max 900mm centres. Complete the opposing side barge capping in the same manner. In situations where the Grandeur sheets are not directly aligned to the building edge, the barge capping will need to cover to the first fixed rib. If the barge top face exceeds 240mm, an additional Z support flashing must be installed at the midpoint between the external wall and the first sheeting ridge to support the barge capping. Once both barges are installed, install the ridge capping. Design the ridge cap to cover the top of the roof sheet by a minimum of 150mm to allow the toes of the ridge flashing to sit well into the roof pan. Position the ridge cap flashing in place and then mark to allow notching and detailing around the barge top ends. Measure and cut ends to allow a 5mm overlap 45 degrees across the barge junction. Notch, check and adjust for fit as needed. Screw or rivet fix at each rib. Mark off and drill 40mm rivet centres at the ridge barge junctions. Brush or blow off any swarf created. Ensure a good silicone seal. Colour match silicone is recommended. Rivet fix and clean off excess sealant. To protect the final finish of the panels during the install, it's best practice to keep the protective film covering on as much of the sheet as possible until the last possible moment. And as swarf is created, brush or blow off the panels during installation to minimise the chance of marking. The final task is to remove any protective film left on the sheets and give the completed surface an overall clean to ensure any mist, potentially rust-staining swarf is removed.
Fielders made.
Made for the contemporary.
Made for imagination.
Made for style.
Fielders made. Made for inspiration.